Imagine, just for a moment, that you have the ability to make someone think about you all the time. Imagine that your every thought, your every desire becomes their reality. The person you long for, the one whose thoughts you wish to occupy, can indeed be drawn into the orbit of your mind. And all of this, my friends, is possible through the power of your imagination. You see, the secret to making someone think of you constantly is not in the action or the effort you put into trying to reach them. It lies in the unseen, in the subtle art of imagination. If you can believe and feel that they are already thinking of you, then they must. It is a law as certain as any other law of nature. The world around you, as you experience it, is but a reflection of your inner state. If your thoughts and feelings are filled with the awareness that they are thinking of you, that they are drawn to you irresistibly, then that is what will be reflected back to you. In the same way a mirror reflects your image, the world reflects your assumptions. Assume that they cannot help but think of you, and watch as the external world conforms to your inner vision. Your thoughts are powerful, more powerful than you can even begin to imagine. And when you direct them towards a single purpose, in this case, making someone think about you, they cannot help but be shaped by your desires. In the end, it is not the person, not the situation, but your own assumption that will bring forth the desired result. Change your assumption, and you change your world. Remember, the key to manifesting love is not in effort or force, but in aligning your imagination with your desires. And when you do this, the world, as if by magic, must rearrange itself to bring that which you have assumed into your reality. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine someone who is dear to you, someone you long to connect with on a deeper level. Picture them as vividly as you can in your mind's eye. See their face, hear their voice, feel the warmth of their presence beside you. Now, in this moment of pure imagination, you are not waiting for them to appear. You are not waiting for any physical action to occur. What you are doing right here and now is laying the groundwork for a powerful shift in your reality. You see, the secret is in the ability to bring the other person into your consciousness through the power of your imagination. Imagination is not a mere daydream or idle fantasy. It is the creative force that shapes your life, molding it from the very fabric of your inner world. And it is within this world that the process of manifestation begins. When you imagine the other person beside you, in your mind's eye, you are not simply thinking about them. No, you are creating an experience that is so real, so alive, that it feels as though it has already happened. In this moment, as you focus your mind on them, you are planting seeds within your subconscious, seeds that, when nurtured, will grow into the reality you desire. The person you long to think about you constantly is already beginning to do so in the world of imagination. This process is not a simple exercise of wishing. It is not a fleeting thought that fades as soon as your attention shifts elsewhere. When you truly focus on their presence, when you feel the emotions of being together, you are engaging in a powerful act of creation. This is not passive, this is active, deliberate creation. The more vivid and real the image in your mind becomes, the more it begins to resonate with the deepest parts of you. And this resonance is what creates the magnetic force that draws them toward you. In this process, there are no barriers. There is no need for waiting or for hoping. You do not need to chase after them in the physical world. The only place you need to focus your energy is within. As you continually impress your mind with the image of them in your presence, you are, in essence, pulling them closer to you. The mind cannot tell the difference between what is imagined and what is real. It will treat your imaginings as fact, and the external world must mirror the assumption that you hold. Think about it for a moment. You have the ability to make them feel your presence without ever speaking a word. You have the ability to ignite feelings in them, simply by creating an experience in your own mind. They do not need to see you physically to begin thinking about you. In fact, the opposite is true. When you connect with them on the mental and emotional level, they will begin to feel that connection, whether they are aware of it or not. This is the secret power you wield, and it all begins with your imagination. Imagine, then, that they are thinking of you constantly. See them in their own quiet moments, their thoughts turning to you effortlessly. Feel the certainty in your heart that they cannot escape your presence in their mind. As you hold this image, you will notice something extraordinary. A shift will begin to take place. You will no longer feel as though you are waiting for them to respond to you. Instead, you will feel as though your connection is already established, as though they are already thinking of you, as if the connection has already been made. When you begin to live from this place, when you truly experience the reality of your own creation, you will notice how the external world begins to reflect your inner reality. Small signs will appear, perhaps a text, an unexpected message, a random thought of them crossing your mind at just the right time. These are not mere coincidences. These are the subtle clues that your inner world is beginning to influence the outer world, and you are witnessing the manifestation of your assumption. But let us be clear, it is not through force, it is not through manipulation that this happens. It is through faith in the power of your imagination. You are not trying to control them, you are aligning yourself with the natural flow of creation. The more you feel their presence, the more vivid and real the image becomes, the more they are compelled to think of you. And as this begins to unfold, you will find that they are drawn to you in ways you may never have expected. This is not some fleeting wish that disappears when you close your eyes. It is a deliberate act of creation, a conscious decision to shape your world by using the most powerful tool at your disposal, your imagination. When you master the art of using this tool, there is nothing in the world that cannot be shaped by your will. And when it comes to love, to connection, and to being thought of constantly by another, there is no more effective means than the power of imagination. So, begin today. Close your eyes, feel the emotions, see the image, and know that as you do so, you are planting the seed of a new reality, one in which they cannot help but think of you constantly. And as you nurture this reality in your mind, watch as it begins to grow effortlessly, naturally, and beautifully into the world around you. Imagine for a moment that the very thing you desire is already here. Not tomorrow, not in the future, but right now. Feel the joy, the excitement, the peace that would wash over you if that thing you long for had already come to pass. The key to manifesting anything, whether it's a relationship, a career, or a life of fulfillment, is to live in the end. Live as if the reality you wish to experience is already in your hands, already within your grasp. This is not a waiting game, it's a way of living, a state of being, a shift in perception. When you live in the end, you are no longer bound by time or circumstances. You are no longer waiting for things to align, for external events to unfold. Instead, you begin to create from the feeling of already having what you desire. In the moment you feel as though your desire is already realized, you align yourself with the very force that brings it into your physical reality. It's like stepping into the version of yourself that has already manifested what you seek. You no longer need to chase after what you want, because you already possess it in your heart, in your thoughts, and in your emotions. The moment you decide to live in the end, you are acting from a place of complete certainty. You are no longer hoping, wishing, or trying. You are assuming, knowing, with absolute conviction, that your desire is already yours. Think about it. If you already had the thing you wanted, how would you feel? What would your thoughts be? What would your energy radiate like? The secret is not in waiting for external events to make you feel good, to make you feel as though you are complete. The secret lies in the realization that you have the power to feel the reality you desire, regardless of the current circumstances. Imagine if you can feel the emotion of your wish fulfilled, if you can live in the feeling of already having it, you are drawing that reality closer to you. Every moment spent in the assumption of fulfillment strengthens the connection between your inner world and the outer world, causing the universe to respond in kind. Living in the end is about shifting your state of consciousness. It is no longer about what is happening around you. It's about what is happening within you. If you want to feel loved, assume that you are already deeply loved. If you want to make someone think about you constantly, assume they are already consumed with thoughts of you. Live as though that person, that love, is already yours, and you will begin to experience the magic of the law of assumption. Let's go deeper into this. If you desire someone's attention or affection, don't focus on their lack of attention. Don't focus on the void of their absence. Instead, focus on the assumption that they are already thinking of you, that they are already calling you, reaching out to you in ways both big and small. As you assume that they are already thinking about you, you begin to align your thoughts with the outcome you desire. In this state, you are no longer waiting for them to think of you, for their actions to change. Instead, you are already assuming that they are thinking of you, acting as if they cannot help but be drawn to you. Feel that assumption deeply. Let it resonate within your body. Allow your mind to believe it so completely that it becomes your truth. When you assume the end result, when you embody the feeling of already having what you want, you shift your energy, and the world around you must reflect that energy. It's not about how much time passes or how many actions you take. It's about the feeling of already having what you desire. When you live in the end, you stop giving power to the present circumstances. If right now the person you desire is not thinking about you, that is merely a reflection of the past thoughts and beliefs you've held. But you are not bound by the past. You are free to create new assumptions, new feelings, new beliefs. When you assume that they are already thinking of you, when you make that your new reality, the outer world must follow suit. It's important to understand that living in the end requires persistence. It's not just a fleeting moment of feeling good or imagining your desire. It's a way of being. It's a state of mind that you must consistently return to, regardless of the outside world. When you live in the end, you live from the perspective of someone who already has what they want. You walk through the world as though you are already the person who is loved, adored, thought of constantly. Every time you feel the urge to doubt, to question, or to wonder when it will happen, return to the feeling of already having it. Do not waver. The more you persist in living in the end, the more you are impressing that assumption into your subconscious, and the more your external world will begin to reflect your inner state. There is no room for lack, no room for doubt in this state of mind. When you live in the end, you are convinced of your success, of your fulfillment, and this conviction brings forth the reality you desire. It is a shift in consciousness, a shift from seeking to having, from waiting to knowing. And this, my friends, is where the true power lies, in the ability to live in the end, to feel the reality of your desire, and to know with unwavering certainty that it is already yours. The moment you make this shift, the moment you live in the end, you stop being a passive observer and become the active creator of your life. And as you do, watch as the world around you begins to conform to the new reality you have assumed. The power of assumption is the key to unlocking the doors of your desires. It is the most powerful law of creation. When you assume something to be true, when you decide to believe in a certain outcome, you are aligning yourself with the invisible forces of the universe that bring that belief into manifestation. The world, as it appears to you, is simply a reflection of your inner assumptions. What you believe to be true, what you assume to be your reality, will inevitably show up in your life. The moment you accept an assumption as fact, the universe has no choice but to reflect that assumption back to you. This is where the magic begins. The power is in the assumption, in the belief that what you desire is already yours, that what you long for is already a part of your life. You do not have to wait for the world to change before you feel the change. You do not have to wait for circumstances to align before you assume that everything is exactly as you want it to be. The assumption comes first, and the world follows. The assumption is not about hoping or wishing. It is about knowing with certainty that your desired outcome is already a part of your experience. It is a state of inner conviction, a knowing that cannot be shaken by external appearances or current circumstances. If you want someone to think about you constantly, for example, the power lies not in trying to manipulate them or control their actions. The power lies in the assumption that they already think about you. The moment you assume that they are constantly thinking of you, you are no longer focusing on their actions, their words, or their behavior. You are no longer waiting for them to act in a certain way. Instead, you are focused entirely on your assumption that they are already thinking of you, already drawn to you. This assumption is a magnet that draws them to you, not because you are forcing anything to happen, but because you have aligned yourself with the law of assumption. The universe will conform to the belief you hold. It is important to realize that the assumption must be made with complete faith, with no room for doubt. Doubt is the destroyer of all creation. If you waver in your belief, if you begin to question whether or not your assumption is true, you weaken the power of your assumption. The key to creating your desired reality is to assume with absolute certainty, without hesitation, that your desired outcome is already unfolding. When you assume that they are thinking about you, without any doubt, without second guessing, you have activated the law of assumption in the most powerful way. Think about it every time you doubt. Every time you question your assumption, you are giving energy to the belief that it may not come to pass. But when you live in the assumption as though it is already true, when you embrace the belief that it is already happening, you align your mind, your emotions, and your energy with the very thing you desire. The universe must respond to this alignment, and the external world will reflect the assumption you hold in your heart and mind. It is vital to understand that assumptions are not limited to simple thoughts. They are powerful beliefs, deeply embedded in your subconscious mind. These assumptions are not just idle thoughts that float through your mind. They are convictions. They are truths that you hold about yourself and the world around you. What you assume, you become. What you assume to be true will show up in your life. This is not a fleeting moment of wishful thinking. This is a deep-seated belief, an inner knowing that shapes your reality from the inside out. The law of assumption is also about persistence. You must continue to live in the assumption of your desired outcome, no matter what the outer world may show you. If you want to manifest love, assume that you are loved and adored. If you want to manifest someone thinking about you constantly, assume that they are already consumed by thoughts of you. Keep assuming it, no matter what. Let the outer world reflect your assumption, not the other way around. When you make a conscious decision to assume your desired outcome, you are not asking the universe to do something for you. You are aligning yourself with the universal law that is always working in your favor. You are simply stepping into the reality of your desire and allowing the universe to bring it into form. Your assumption, your belief, is the spark that lights the fire of creation. The universe simply responds to your thoughts and beliefs, bringing them into physical manifestation. It's important to realize that the power of assumption works whether you are aware of it or not. Every belief you hold, every assumption you make, is actively shaping your reality. Your inner world creates your outer world, and the assumptions you hold about yourself and others are what bring your experiences into being. This is why it is so crucial to monitor your thoughts and assumptions. When you become aware of the power you have to shape your life, you will begin to see that every moment is an opportunity to choose your assumptions wisely. By assuming the end result, by assuming that your desire is already fulfilled, you are tapping into the infinite power of creation. You are no longer bound by the limitations of time and space. Your desires are already realized in the invisible realm, and as you persist in your assumption, the physical world must mirror it. The key is to remain unwavering in your belief, to live as though your desired outcome is already a part of your life, and to trust that the universe will bring it to fruition. When you do this, when you fully embrace the power of assumption, you will witness miracles unfold before your eyes. The emotions you feel are the driving force behind all that you manifest in this world. If you want to understand the true power of creation, you must understand the vital role that emotion plays in the process of bringing your desires into reality. You see, emotions are not just reactions to external events, they are the energy that fuels creation. When you align your emotions with your desires, you are aligning yourself with the universal force that brings everything into existence. Think about it. How do you feel when you imagine your desires coming true? How does it feel to picture the person you long for thinking about you constantly? Do you feel a warmth in your chest, a flutter of excitement, a sense of peace, or perhaps joy? These feelings are not just byproducts of your thoughts. They are the very essence of creation. The more vividly you can feel the emotions of your wish fulfilled, the more power you give to your thoughts, the more rapidly your desires begin to take form. The law of attraction, the law of assumption, all of these laws work through the emotional energy you put out into the universe. You must understand that every time you feel the emotion of already having what you want, you are sending out a signal to the universe. This signal is felt in every cell of your being, and it is the force that draws the object of your desire to you. When you feel the emotion of love, of being desired, of being adored, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of love. And the universe responds in kind, drawing experiences and people into your life that reflect that vibration. It is not enough to simply think about what you want. Thinking alone will not bring your desires into being. You must marry your thoughts with your feelings. The thoughts you entertain shape your beliefs, but it is the emotions you feel that give those beliefs life. Without the emotional charge, the belief remains a mere thought, a passing idea. But when you feel the truth of your belief deep in your heart, when you can connect emotionally with the idea that your desire is already fulfilled, you set in motion the forces that will bring that desire into your life. Emotions are the key to manifestation because they are the bridge between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the fertile ground in which your desires are planted. But the soil of your subconscious will only accept the seeds of your desires when they are watered by the emotional energy of your feelings. This emotional energy creates a vibration that reaches deep into the subconscious, impressing your desires upon it. It is this deep emotional connection that transforms your desires from mere thoughts into tangible experiences. When you feel love, joy, and gratitude, when you feel as if the world is already giving you everything you desire, you are sending out a powerful signal to the universe. And the universe, in turn, responds with experiences that reflect that signal. If you want someone to think of you constantly, you must first embody the emotion of being thought of constantly. Feel the joy, the excitement, the comfort of knowing that they are always thinking of you. Feel the emotions of being adored, loved, and wanted. These feelings are the magnet that draws them closer to you. It is not about convincing them with words or actions. It is about aligning your inner world with the outer world you wish to create. If you are experiencing feelings of doubt, frustration, or fear, you are sending out a different signal. And the universe, being neutral, will reflect back to you those feelings. This is why it is so important to consciously choose your emotions. You must choose to feel as though your desire is already fulfilled. You must choose to feel the joy, the satisfaction, and the certainty of knowing that the person you long for is already thinking about you. The moment you begin to feel this way, the universe has no choice but to bring it into your experience. Your emotions are powerful. They are the creative force behind every thought you think and every assumption you make. If you want to change your reality, you must first change the way you feel. Feelings of love, joy, and gratitude open the doors to all that you desire. These feelings align you with the frequency of your desires, and when you maintain that alignment, the universe must respond. Think about the feelings you experience when you are in the presence of someone you love or admire. Think about the emotions that arise when you feel deeply connected to another person. These emotions are the vibration of your desires. They are the energy that moves you closer to your desires. So, when you feel the love, the adoration, and the connection you seek in your mind, you are not only thinking about what you want, you are becoming the very vibration of it. And that vibration, when held consistently, draws your desires toward you like a magnet. The key, then, is to focus on the emotions of your desire, not the lack of it. Feel what it would feel like to be constantly in their thoughts, to be desired, to be loved. The more you feel these emotions as though they are already part of your reality, the more quickly they will manifest in your life. Your emotions are the signal you are sending out into the universe, and the universe will always respond in kind. So, the next time you want to manifest something, remember this: it is not enough to think about it. You must feel it. You must feel as though it has already happened. You must feel the emotions of your desire fulfilled, and in doing so, you will unlock the door to your dreams. Feel the joy of already having it, and watch as the world around you shifts to bring it into your experience. Before you can expect anyone else to think about you, love you, or desire you, you must first recognize the fundamental truth that everything begins with you. The energy you put into yourself, the way you view yourself, and the love you give yourself are the very building blocks of the world that will reflect back to you. You cannot manifest love from others until you first become the embodiment of love yourself. You cannot manifest someone thinking about you constantly unless you first assume the belief that you are worthy of that attention, that you are deserving of love and admiration. The power of self-love is the foundation upon which all your desires are built, and until you fully recognize your own worth, the outer world cannot respond in kind. Imagine for a moment that you are the most important person in your own life, not in an arrogant or self-centered way, but in a deeply profound, self-affirming way. You value yourself, you respect yourself, and you love yourself. You see your own beauty, your own unique qualities, and you embrace them fully. When you love yourself in this way, it creates an inner radiance that naturally draws others to you. People are drawn to energy. They are drawn to those who exude confidence, warmth, and self-love. When you love yourself, you align yourself with the very vibration of love, and love, in all its forms, must come to you. Self-love is not just a feeling, it is an attitude, a mindset, and a way of life. It is the understanding that you are worthy of the love and attention that you seek. It is the belief that you are deserving of the very best in life, and that the world around you is a reflection of your internal state. If you want someone to think about you constantly, to be drawn to you, you must first assume the feeling of being lovable, being adored, being worthy of attention. The more you cultivate this inner feeling of self-love, the more you will begin to see the outer world reflected back to you in the form of the very people you desire to think of you. This principle is crucial because it shifts the focus away from seeking external validation and places it firmly on your internal state. Many people make the mistake of thinking that their worth depends on how others perceive them. They believe that they must earn love and attention from others through actions or approval. However, this is a fallacy. Your worth is inherent. It is not contingent upon the approval or attention of anyone else. When you realize this truth, you begin to shift your energy from a place of neediness to a place of abundance. You no longer seek love from others because you already have it in abundance within yourself. When you love yourself fully, when you honor yourself deeply, you no longer look outside of yourself for validation. You no longer search for someone to fulfill a void within you. Instead, you become whole, you become complete, and in this state of completeness, others cannot help but notice you. They will be drawn to your energy, to your confidence, to the way you carry yourself. People are attracted to those who love themselves because it radiates outwards. They are magnetized by your self-assurance, your self-respect, and the aura of love that surrounds you. The key to manifesting someone's thoughts and affections toward you is to first cultivate those thoughts and affections within yourself. If you want to be thought of constantly, assume that you are already constantly on their mind. But more importantly, you must first assume that you are worthy of that attention. You must believe, deep in your heart, that you are deserving of love, admiration, and respect. When you hold this belief firmly, when you act as though you are already the person who is adored, constantly thought of, loved, and cherished, the universe must reflect that belief back to you. Self-love is the foundation upon which all your desires are built, because it is the energy that drives everything. When you truly love yourself, you stop waiting for the world to change for you. You change. You stop waiting for others to recognize your worth, because you already recognize it yourself. And in doing so, you begin to live a life that reflects that self-recognition. The world around you shifts, not because you are trying to manipulate it, but because you have changed your internal state. The moment you begin to love and value yourself, the external world cannot help but mirror that shift. This is not just about affirmations or positive thinking. It is about deeply embodying the belief that you are worthy, valuable, and deserving of all the love and attention that you desire. It is about standing in your own power, recognizing your own greatness, and fully embracing the idea that you are enough, just as you are. When you love yourself in this way, you stop seeking approval from others, and instead, you begin to attract the right people, the right situations, and the right experiences that reflect your inner state of self-worth. You are the creator of your world, and everything you experience is a reflection of your beliefs, your thoughts, and your feelings. If you want others to think of you constantly, you must first think of yourself as worthy of their thoughts. You must assume that you are the person who is loved, adored, and cherished. When you feel this way about yourself, you become a magnet for those very experiences. The law of attraction, the law of assumption, and the law of reflection all work together to bring to you that which you believe you deserve. If you want love, you must first love yourself. If you want attention, you must first give that attention to yourself. The moment you step into the energy of self-love, you will see the world around you reflect that energy back to you, and the people you desire to think of you will be drawn into your life effortlessly. When you set your mind on a desire, and you truly commit to it, repetition becomes one of your most powerful tools. It is not enough to merely think about your desire once or twice, and then expect the universe to respond. No, the universe works through consistency. The more you repeat the assumption, the more it impresses itself upon your subconscious mind, and the deeper it penetrates your being. Think of it as planting a seed. The seed will not sprout and bear fruit the moment you plant it. You must water it daily, nourish it with the right thoughts, the right emotions, and the right belief that it will grow. Just as a farmer tends to his crops every day, so must you tend to your desires through consistent repetition. Repetition is not just a mechanical task, it is a powerful affirmation of your faith. When you repeat the assumption that someone is thinking about you constantly, when you feel that assumption with every fiber of your being, you are reaffirming your belief in the possibility of its realization. Every time you repeat the assumption, you are reinforcing the belief that it is true, and your mind begins to align with that belief. As the days pass, your mind grows more familiar with the assumption, and what was once a distant possibility becomes a certain reality in your consciousness. But repetition does not mean mindlessly repeating words or thoughts. It means embodying your assumption, living from it, feeling it in every part of you. As you repeat the assumption, feel it as if it is already true. Feel the joy, the excitement, the warmth of knowing that they are already thinking about you. This is where the true power of repetition lies, not in the mere mechanical act of repeating a thought, but in the emotional charge that you attach to it. The more real you make the assumption feel, the faster it will begin to manifest in your physical reality. There is a rhythm to repetition, a cadence that mirrors the heartbeat of creation itself. Just as a musician practices scales every day to master their instrument, so must you practice the assumption of your desire. You must repeat it often with feeling, until it becomes a natural part of your thinking. The more you repeat the assumption that they are thinking of you, the more ingrained it becomes in your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is not a passive observer. It works to make the beliefs you hold about yourself and your world a reality. By repeating the assumption, you are telling your subconscious mind that this is your truth, and it will begin to work tirelessly to bring that truth into form. But repetition also works on a deeper, more subtle level. Each time you repeat the assumption, it begins to seep into the very fabric of your being. It begins to influence not only your thoughts, but your emotions, your actions, and your reactions. You start to live in the feeling of your desire already fulfilled. You walk with the certainty that your assumption is coming true. You no longer wait for the world to change in order for you to feel the joy of having your desire. Instead, you live from that place of joy, from that place of certainty, and the world around you must change to reflect it. The more you repeat the assumption, the more the belief becomes second nature to you. It no longer feels like a wish or a hope. It becomes a knowing so deep and so true that nothing in the external world can shake your confidence. If there are doubts or fears, they will fade as you continue to repeat the assumption with unwavering faith. Every time you do, you reinforce your inner state and strengthen your connection to the desired outcome. Eventually, the assumption becomes your truth, and the physical world has no choice but to reflect it. Repetition also serves to focus your attention. The more you repeat the assumption, the more you focus on it, and where your attention goes, energy flows. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions begin to align with your desired outcome. Instead of thinking about the lack or absence of the person you desire, you focus entirely on the fact that they are already thinking about you, that they are already drawn to you. The more your attention is fixed on this assumption, the more the universe is compelled to bring it into being. It is important to remember that repetition is not a sign of weakness or insecurity. It is the act of a creator consciously shaping their reality. Every time you repeat the assumption with feeling, you are consciously choosing to align with the energy of your desire. You are taking control of your inner world, and by doing so, you are setting the stage for the outer world to shift in alignment with your inner state. This is the true power of repetition. It is not about forcing something into existence, but about allowing your subconscious mind to fully accept your assumption as reality until it naturally unfolds in the world around you. In the process of repetition, you must trust. Trust that the universe is always responding to your inner state. Trust that every time you repeat the assumption, you are moving closer to your goal, closer to your desire becoming a reality. Trust that the seed you have planted is growing, even if you cannot yet see it. In time, the fruits of your labor will appear, but only when you consistently tend to your inner world and nurture the assumption with love, faith, and repetition. So, if you desire someone to think of you constantly, let the assumption fill your mind and heart every day. Let it become your truth, and with each repetition, feel it as if it is already real. Do not doubt the process. Do not wonder when it will happen. Trust, and continue to repeat the assumption until it becomes so ingrained in your consciousness that the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Through repetition, you align yourself with the vibration of your desire, and the universe, in its perfect timing, will deliver it to you. The moment you let doubt creep into your mind, you weaken your ability to manifest. Doubt is like a crack in the foundation of a building you are trying to construct. It creates instability, makes the ground beneath you shake, and delays the manifestation of your desires. If you are not sure that your assumption is true, if you waver in your belief, the universe must reflect that uncertainty back to you. This is why faith is the cornerstone of your creative power. When you doubt not only your desire, but your own ability to manifest it. The key to creating your reality lies in unwavering faith, a belief so strong, so unshakable, that no external evidence can dissuade you from it. The process of manifestation does not depend on the physical world conforming to your assumptions right away. No, the world around you must first respond to the strength of your belief. Your desire, your assumption, must be so vivid, so real in your mind, that it becomes a part of you. And when you embrace this belief fully, when you trust in the unseen, then the world will have no choice but to reflect it back to you. The mistake that many people make is that they wait for the physical evidence to appear before they believe. They say, "I will believe it when I see it." But this is backward. You must believe it first, before you see it, and that belief is what creates the conditions for it to appear. Faith is not just about waiting. It is not about passively hoping that something will happen. Faith is about knowing that your desire is already a reality, even if the external world hasn't caught up yet. It's about standing firm in the belief that your assumption is true, regardless of what your physical senses tell you. When you live in faith, you stop reacting to the physical world. You stop being influenced by circumstances, by time, or by the actions of others. You simply know without question that your desire is coming to you. You trust in the process of creation, and you remain steadfast in your assumption that it is already so. The key to manifesting with faith is persistence. You must continue to hold the assumption, to believe it fully, even when nothing seems to be changing. Faith is the ability to remain certain when there is no tangible evidence. It's the courage to stand by your assumption, even when everything around you may suggest otherwise. This requires a shift in how you perceive the world. You must no longer look to the world to tell you what is possible or true. You must look inward, to your own belief, to your own assumption, and hold that as your truth. The more you do this, the more the outer world will begin to align with your inner vision. Faith also requires you to trust in the law that governs the universe. It is a law, like gravity, that never fails. The law of assumption does not work based on your ability to see how it works. It works because it is universal and consistent. When you assume something to be true, when you have unwavering faith in that assumption, you align yourself with the natural flow of creation. The universe will always bring you the reflection of your belief. This is why doubt is so dangerous. It contradicts your assumption. When you doubt, you are sending out mixed signals. One part of you says, "I believe," and the other says, "But I'm not sure." The universe does not know which signal to respond to, and so it responds with confusion, giving you results that are unclear and inconsistent. When you have unwavering faith in your assumption, you stop questioning the process. You no longer look for signs. You no longer wonder when it will happen. You no longer check the external world for proof. You know, without a shadow of a doubt, that your desire is already on its way. The universe operates according to the beliefs you hold, and if you hold the belief that your desire is already fulfilled, it must appear. This is the power of faith. It eliminates the need for external validation. It allows you to create your reality from within, without needing the approval or confirmation of anyone or anything. Faith is the energy that propels you forward, even when you cannot see the way. It is the trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even when you cannot see the path ahead. If you want to manifest love, for example, the key is to trust that you are already loved. The moment you accept that love is yours, even before it appears, you are acting in faith. The love that you desire is already a reality in your imagination, and by holding that belief, you set the wheels of manifestation in motion. If doubt arises, as it inevitably will, remind yourself that faith is your foundation. Doubt will try to shake you, to make you question your desires and your ability to manifest. But this is when you must strengthen your belief. Doubt is simply the ego trying to maintain control. It's the part of you that is attached to the physical world, the part of you that wants evidence before it believes. But you must remember that the only true evidence is the faith you hold in your assumption. This is the path to manifestation. The strength of your faith determines the speed and clarity of your manifestation. The more unwavering your faith, the faster and more clearly the universe will reflect your desires back to you. When you have absolute faith, you allow the universe to work freely, without resistance. You open yourself to the flow of abundance, and in doing so, you become a magnet for your desires. So, make the choice today to believe. Believe that your desire is already yours. Believe that you have the power to shape your reality with your thoughts, your assumptions, and your faith. Trust that the universe will deliver what you have already assumed, and stand firm in that belief, knowing that it is only a matter of time before your world conforms to your inner vision. The universe is waiting for you to make that choice, and when you do, it will respond with the exact reflection of your faith. The moment you accept that your desire is already fulfilled, you are stepping into the realm of creation. This is the most powerful shift you can make in your journey of manifestation, to live as though your wish has already come true. This is not about waiting for things to change or for some external event to occur before you start feeling fulfilled. The secret is in the feeling of already having your desire. When you live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you step into the state of the person who has already experienced what they desire. And in this state, the world must respond to that belief, that feeling of certainty, and begin to shape itself to match your inner reality. Living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is not a passive act. It is a powerful, active creation. It is a state of consciousness where you act, think, and feel as though what you desire has already manifested. The moment you accept that your desire is already yours, you release all attachment to the outcome, all need to wait for it to happen. Instead, you begin to experience life from the perspective of someone who already possesses what they seek. This is the essence of creation, to believe that it is already done, that it is already yours, and to act from that place of certainty. The key here is not to wait for circumstances to change in order to feel the fulfillment of your desire. It's not about looking for signs in the world around you or trying to make things happen. It's about shifting your inner world, your thoughts, and your emotions to the point where you can feel that the desire is already part of your experience. This feeling of having your wish fulfilled is the creative force that draws the object of your desire toward you. It's not something that happens once you get the external evidence. It happens as you live in the assumption that it is already true. The law of assumption works by impressing your subconscious mind with the belief that your desire is already fulfilled. When you live in the feeling of having your wish fulfilled, you are impressing this truth upon your subconscious mind. The subconscious does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts whatever you impress upon it as reality. So, if you consistently live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the subconscious mind will begin to bring that feeling into your physical experience. This is why it is so important to embody the feeling of your desire as if it has already manifested. If you want someone to think about you constantly, don't wait for them to start thinking about you before you feel the emotion of being constantly in their thoughts. Live as though you are already on their mind all the time. Imagine how it would feel, the joy, the satisfaction, the certainty, knowing that they are already consumed with thoughts of you. The more you can feel this reality, the more you are impressing it upon your subconscious mind. And when the subconscious mind accepts this truth, the external world has no choice but to rearrange itself to reflect that truth back to you. Living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled requires you to be deeply in touch with your emotions. Your emotions are the key to manifesting your desires. If you can align your feelings with the desired outcome, you are putting out the energy that will attract the desired reality. It's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about feeling the joy, the gratitude, the excitement of already having what you want. When you live in the feeling of fulfillment, you align yourself with the vibration of your desire, and that vibration is the signal that the universe will respond to. The world around you will begin to shift and adjust to reflect your internal state. When you live in the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you cease to be a passive observer waiting for things to change. You are now an active creator, and the universe must respond. The people, situations, and opportunities that are in alignment with your desire will start to show up in your life in perfect harmony. You will find that the things you once struggled to manifest come to you effortlessly. The key, however, is to keep living in the feeling of having already received it. You must refuse to be distracted by what you see in the physical world. If things appear to be the same, if the person you want to think about you is still distant or unresponsive, that is irrelevant. The physical world is a reflection of your inner state, and once you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the physical world must reflect that assumption. The more you persist in living from the feeling of having your desire, the more quickly the world will shift to match your inner vision. The power of living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled also lies in the fact that it keeps you in a state of gratitude and excitement. Gratitude is the highest frequency you can emit, and when you feel gratitude for something that has already come into your life, you amplify its energy. By living as though your wish is already fulfilled, you naturally feel gratitude for the fulfillment of that desire. This gratitude is what draws it closer to you, what accelerates its manifestation. The feeling of fulfillment and gratitude makes you a magnet for more fulfillment, and in this state you become unstoppable. So, the next time you find yourself desiring someone to think about you constantly, do not wait for their actions to change. Step into the state of the wish fulfilled. Feel the excitement of knowing they are already thinking about you, that they cannot help but think of you all the time. Immerse yourself in the joy and gratitude of knowing that your desire is already here. As you live in that feeling, watch as your world begins to reflect it back to you. Your assumption has now become your reality, and the universe, in perfect timing, will deliver what you have already claimed as your own. In this journey of manifestation, the key to creating the reality you desire lies not in external circumstances, but in the power of your inner world. Every thought you think, every assumption you hold, and every feeling you experience contributes to the world you are shaping. When you harness the power of imagination, living in the end, and repeating your assumptions with faith, you are aligning yourself with the laws that govern creation. Your imagination is the canvas, your assumptions are the brushstrokes, and your emotions are the colors that bring your desires to life. When you fully embrace the idea that the world reflects your inner state, you begin to understand that everything you desire is already within your reach. Self-love is the foundation that strengthens your power as you recognize your worthiness to receive love, attention, and all that you desire. The more you persist in faith, even in the face of doubt or uncertainty, the more you demonstrate your trust in the process of creation. And when you live from the place of already having your wish fulfilled, you activate the law of assumption in the most powerful way, allowing your desires to manifest effortlessly. The journey is not about waiting for the world to change for you, but about changing your internal world, embodying the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and allowing the universe to reflect that change. Trust in the process and keep your focus unwavering, knowing that as you live in the assumption of your desires already realized, the physical world will soon mirror your inner reality. The power is within you, always has been, and always will be. Keep believing, keep feeling, and watch as the world transforms in alignment with the life you have already created in your heart and mind.